It's amazing. We are going to do the usual. We have a very special guest today. I'm 100% sure we are going to enjoy the session today. So we are going to do a quick round of introduction again. You tell us who you are, what you do, and why you are here. As simple as that.
Thank you. My name is Emmanuel Maleka Simba for today. Yeah, I visited Maleka and we deal in a cough syrup that's called Hill Cough. Hill Cough is a locally produced herbal medicinal product which is used to for cough. Yeah, so he already has a product which is certified by NDA. So if you have maybe a pharmacy or you are sick with the cough, you can try this product.
The
Yeah.
initiators of this idea.
If you have maybe any sources of funding, because right now he needs like at least 50 million to make his own production line, which can produce 1,000 units per day, and that will be a huge push for him. So that is the ask from Maleka Organics. Thank you so much.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. My name is Natkunda Penrop. I'm a businesswoman. I run a saloon, Joe Pearl Saloon, in town around Garage Street, opposite Iseview. Yeah, uh, I'm here because of Rama. Rama is my inspiration. I follow him in different. So when I saw his post, I was like, "Am I allowed to come in?" And he was like, "Yes, yes, you come." So that is why I am here, and hopefully, I know I'm going to enjoy and learn a lot.
I'm a student at MUST. So regarding last week's assignment, I was assigned to Mr. Geronimo Amanya, and he's working on a project called Placement Bridge, which is an engine that will help in linking the employee to the employer. Where in that,
So since we all decided that we want to go together, right?
he's working on a project called Placement Bridge. It is an engine where it will be linking an employee to the employer, and you'll log in and create an account, um, put in your information, your academic qualifications, and all the skills. Then it will automatically generate applications to the potential employers, and they will also be able to receive the potential candidates they can employ from their accounts. Yeah.
Perfect. You nailed it. Thank you.
I'm a co-founder of Swift Clean. At Swift Clean, we are a cleaning company. So we focus on professional laundry services, carpet and sofa cleaning, home cleaning, as well as office cleaning. If you have any laundry that is not clean, if you have a home space that also needs to be cleaned, your office needs deep cleaning, any of the services I've mentioned, feel free to reach out and we help you. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Emily Msimenta. I was assigned Eden. I did not fulfill my assignments, so I'll introduce myself. Also, I was not visited. Yeah, I'm from Coco Farm. We deal in poultry. It's a poultry farm where we grow chickens for laying, that is the eggs as the product, and then chicken meat for the broilers. Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
I think for me, because of the nature of the work that I do, I'm not used to sitting. So I think the bigger time, I'm going to be standing because that's when I feel free and connect well with people. When I sit at some point, I might even doze. I'm not used to that. So I want to be that and engage and see how people are you know, are
All
picking
right.
up from what we are trying to
alright.
share.
So what
Thank
you are
you.
going to do, thank you so much. You are going to be standing very soon. So what you are going to do, we are going to have it like this. We are going to have 30 to 35 minutes of the conversation, because at the end of the day, we also want to,
Yeah.
when you're not just talk, but trying to tell us
Yeah.
in a softer way. Then after that, we can now go for the real kill.
That's
So thank you very much. One question before I even move any further. One of the issues I've been having, even within my own startup, is the culture that our teams start with. From the start, from the word go, how do you have specific principles on how a person is supposed to build a culture in the company from the word go, or do you have certain principles that ensure that you as a founder, you as a person who's the manager or the director, you can ensure that the culture you have are for people who are serious? Because we have seen that in very many ways. You go to a place, for example, the people who operate here at Cafe Canberra, how they behave is different probably from what other people are doing elsewhere. And that can actually be the key determinant in determining whether customers are going to come or are not going to come, whether profits are actually going to come or profits are not going to come. So how do you build that kind of culture? Principles that enable us have the right culture, and also, do you think it is even important in the first place?
Thank you so much. My thinking is that culture is how you want to be identified as a business. It's like your collective identity. You'll hear people say that in our culture, this is not allowed. In so and so's culture, this is not acceptable. I have traveled to places where people do things that look to be very okay, because in their culture it is okay. But in my own culture, they don't look to be what?
Okay.
To be fine. For example, I would tell you that if you were walking on the streets here in Mbarara, and maybe in the supermarket, and maybe there is this parent that is walking around with their child and they are doing the shopping, and out of that excitement, maybe this parent is with their maybe 10 or 11-year-old, they now carry them up and then you see them kissing in the supermarket. It may not go well with you. It may be like, what's up with this woman? For some people, it may look like this is not acceptable, it's not okay. But when you travel to other countries, maybe when you go to like Europe, you'll find for them it's very okay. People will do it and it is acceptable. But when you travel to even different parts of Uganda, people will tell you, for us in our culture, this is acceptable. You have seen people criticize, I don't know if you saw that video of, I think it was a Kwanjula, where people were kneeling, getting into the house.
Crawling.
They were crawling, yes, getting into the house. And people went on social media and they said, to hell, I can never do this.
But
If it means
was that Uganda?
I don't know if it was Uganda. Eastern Uganda. Many people went there, and the views that they were giving, they are informed by their backgrounds, their upbringing, their cultural beliefs and everything. Because all that shapes our opinions and how we view the world. So company culture is ideally, how would you want to be perceived in terms of your values, beliefs of how you approach things, and you run your business on a daily basis. There are some places where, for example, there's a time when I saw an interview of the CEO of Apple. They were asking him about a dress code. What is the acceptable dress code at Apple? And the guy said, for us here, we are not so strict about the dress code. Be decent enough. You can put on your t-shirt and your jeans on a Monday and your sneakers, and you get in. Because for them, what matters most to them is the output. Are you delivering the work? But in some other places, they will tell you, Monday to Friday or Monday to Thursday, this is what we expect in terms of the dress code. Why? Because that's how we want to be identified or seen in the market. You come on some days without maybe that uniform that is branded, and they will even question you, or even you will even go back, because they have set it and it's a practice, and everyone has to do what? To follow it. So culture is largely that it might shift over time, but the tone is set by the vision bearer, the founder of that idea, that dream. You are the one that actually sets the culture that you want to see. Because you as a person, when you, like for example, the Entrepreneurs Lounge, you guys have, there is that reason why you felt you can start something like this. There's a reason why you have that name that you gave to it, and not any other name. So that in itself has so many things underneath in terms of how you want, where you see yourself in the next 3-5 years, how you want to be seen, things to do with the branding. I had somebody talk about we need to have like pull-up banners, so that when we are doing all these recordings, we have our pull-up banners in the background. People can see our brand come out very well. And maybe along the way you also plan, maybe people who are maybe along the way, maybe you want people to also subscribe and be part of it. And then as part of that, they may be getting also branded merchandise. You get it, eh? Because there is an identity that you want to set out in the market. That starts with you as the founder. If you want people to manage time, if you want people to be decent, if you want people to behave well, if you want people to do things in a certain way, it has to start with you. Because they are observing everything about you and what you're doing. And in most cases, when you're not serious about certain things, people will find so many ways or reasons to also not be serious. Because they have seen, human beings are very intelligent, they will see you as maybe a founder, they have come on board, or maybe you have even hired teams. You have gotten to a point where you have now a smaller team or even a bigger team. But you as a founder, the tone that you set around all that is going to inform so many things. There are places that you go to and people will tell you that in our organization, the culture we have here is that meetings do not go beyond 30 minutes.
All meetings?
Meetings. Maybe they have those weekly meetings where the teams update each other on what is happening in terms of the business. So marketing comes in and updates, human resource gives an update, procurement gives an update, and all these other departments. So they tell you, for us, our meetings are strictly 30 minutes. And this is normally our agenda. So people know that actually that is the culture. In terms of the planning, if I'm somebody who presents something from my department every Monday or Tuesday, because I know meetings are strictly for 30 minutes, and this is what I must stick to, I have to plan in advance and put in the time and make sure that by the time I get to present during this meeting, I have all that it takes to conform to the culture or the norm that has been set. Then there are places where people will get into meetings and they drag on and it is hours and hours. And then people are complaining, one of the reasons why I hate a Monday at work is because of those long what?
Meetings.
Long meetings. Meaning, in a way, that's a practice within the organization, but it's not a productive practice. It makes people feel like the work environment or workplace is not suitable. It's not good enough for them to show up every day motivated. So you as a vision bearer, what collective identity do you want to set for your business, for your brand, that even people are going to emulate? Even the people out there, if you went around and you did an interview on the streets and you identify a single brand and you ask different people about what they think about, people will tell you the different, give you different perceptions about given brands in their own way of how they view things. And that is largely informed by how you treat them, how you approach your business, how you do this. That's why you will find people, when somebody is working in a given organization and they know I'm out there and it is not official duty, it is not work. For example, I will not get in maybe with anything that is branded for the organization.
Okay.
Because in there, I might do things that are contrary or are not a representation of the brand. So what if somebody takes a photo of me? So what I do, I avoid that. I don't go in with that maybe jumper that is branded or maybe a t-shirt or maybe a cape. Because even when you have not told the people in the workplace that this is not allowed, the way how you behave and run things on a daily in itself tells people that, you know what, when it is not working hours, or if it's you're not in a work setting, or maybe doing official business, you cannot get in with branded, maybe uniform or anything.
Okay.
So somebody knows it that, yes, this is the practice in this organization. So culture is very broad, but ideally, when you go to NSSF, when you go to URA, when you go to State House, when you go to wherever, all those places that you have gone to, those businesses that you have interacted with,
They have set up.
set an example of Mbarara. You have a way how you are going to walk out with a perception about the business. You hear people
and that is
saying,
their culture.
you hear people saying that, the Kariaka for the other place, the employees, man, they feel so big. They act as if they are the owners of the what?
The business.
Of the business. The other person also says, Banang, there is that girl at the counter. This is how she feels what? She feels big. That means the behaviors and the conduct have created a perception of how people now view you as a brand. Now the question is, you need to ask yourself, is this good culture? Is this a good representation of how we want our brand to be or not? Because it can either build you or actually break you as a business.
Okay, that has been really elaborate as far as culture is concerned. Avoid that. Okay, so thank you very much, Bwana Rama. Yeah, indeed, you have the prowess and the expertise in your area of work. So you've talked about team building as one of your activities that you do at the COA, at Prowess Communications. And just like you heard, all of us here are founders and co-founders and CEOs of big things that are starting up. But the challenge we face is us, the founders, finding a team that we can trust and grow with. So what are some of the tips you could give us? Because actually many of them are standing alone because they are afraid of the people they bring aboard as team members to grow with, to go their ventures with. So what is that tip or one thing you could say about that? I don't know how you guys work at Prowess, or you're just one-man army, just like most of the people could be here, because people really don't, they have that trust issues, that they don't find it easy integrating in people into their ventures as team members so that they can grow together. Yeah, so how do you advise us to move forward? Because many times I see people form teams because they are looking at friends, people they are staying with in the hostels, people they are staying with in the vicinities, but not necessarily like based on the expertise that someone brings on the table. So what is that one thing that would advise us to take on to grow the teams? Because to me, I believe that even at our level where we're looking for funding, funders fund teams and not ideas.
Okay, thank you so much. Maybe before I respond to that, when you look at the businesses in this town, one of the biggest challenges that they have is identifying capable talent and also retaining that talent. The example I will give you that is very common is when you look at most of the hospitality establishments, the hotels, the restaurants, you find a person has worked here because maybe they failed to meet certain expectations.
Okay.
The next morning you find them at another hotel or restaurant. It's like,
especially in the bar business.
Yes, they are. This one is moving from this place to another. One of the biggest challenges I think that most businesses face is identifying good talent, people that you can actually work with and you retain them. But for the sake of the founders, what I can say is that, number one, you need if you're looking at people that you can start and build this idea with, these must be people, number one, who are going to come in and they are complementing your skill sets.
So somebody must add
somebody
something to the table.
Somebody must be bringing in something that you don't have. But it is actually very vital for the business to grow.
Say that again.
If you're looking at somebody that you're going to work with and you build this venture, if your competence is you're already a very good software engineer, we are looking at working at this company that is going to now work on some apps that are going to provide solutions, and we scale in a way. Now, if you know you're good or you're already two people, then you don't need a third person whose competences are very good in software engineering. You maybe need somebody who has now the marketing knowledge, the business arm. Because software engineering, you're going to have more of the technical knowledge, but for this business to grow, you need now the business knowledge, the marketing potential, strategies, and
so
everything.
you're more talking like of an interdisciplinary team.
Absolutely. Even when you look at when it comes to the funding perspective of it, funders are looking at the diversity of your team. When at the end of the day they notice that you are almost 70 or 80% of the people on the team are of the same skill set,
or even 6.
Yes, it might be a red flag to me who wants to actually fund this team, because I want a team that is very diverse to cushion and take care of all the risks that come with actually running this idea and scaling it. Because I need somebody who has those leadership skills to be able to manage the team. I want somebody who has now the marketing knowledge, who is going to understand the needs of the market, be able to market this idea, and get to know that at this point, we now need to change and introduce something new to conform to the changing needs of the customers and so many other things. So number one, you need people who are going to complement on your skills. What is it that they have that you don't actually have? And then they are bringing it to support you in that angle. Number two, you need to have clarity of the vision or the idea that you actually want to build. Because most times, many people will have that idea, but it's not clear in terms of what is it that you want to address in the market. Because starting a business, it's not about your own feelings or emotions. No, you're starting a business to make money. So at the end of the day, whatever idea you're bringing on board, it should be able to address a given gap in the market. You have identified a gap, and there is evidence that it is actually there, so you're coming in to address it. So that has to be very, very clear from the onset. Because when there is no clarity, you get along the way, and then people get to a point where now they don't see anything like progress. You don't have anything that is coming next.
It becomes stagnant.
It becomes stagnant. But when you have that clarity of this, it becomes very easy for you to now identify the people.
Okay.
Because you need to have an understanding of what is it that you want to offer and provide, so that it gives you leverage to identify the people who are potential partners towards building this brand. That is very key. Okay. The other thing is you don't look for people out of convenience.
Now that is the biggest issue.
Yeah, because so and so is my friend.
Because I look at Victor, because I've known him for 10 years.
That's not a bad thing.
I put him in a venture where he doesn't even have any knowledge of it.
Yes, because when you look at it from a perspective of convenience friendship, it tends now to, how do I term it? There is a way how it now blocks you from actually seeing the competencies of this person, being objective. You end up not being objective about him in terms of the contribution that he can actually make on the team or even this idea. So don't bring in people out of, because we went to the same secondary school, we were in the same class at campus. That is an added advantage if they have these other attributes that we are talking about. That one becomes very easy, because this is somebody you already know, you have a track record together, and it becomes very easy to get along on certain things compared to a total stranger who is just coming in and you're seeing them for the first time.
Okay.
So that one becomes
okay. That has been really tackled well, and I think it answers most of our challenges that we face in team building. So the other issue you talked about, of course I know, I've interacted with you many times, and I know you're a good speaker, just like it's evident right now. So many founders face what we call the stage fright, especially when they get these opportune moments to communicate their ideas to the potential funders. But unfortunately, they can't communicate them because they can't get out of that nutshell.
Yeah.
So, and I think you even whispered to me when you were seated here and people introducing themselves alongside their ventures and what they are doing, and you said you barely had some of them. So, which ways could you, since you're a public speaker and a communications coach, which tips would you give us to be able to communicate our ideas effectively so that we can attract funding for our ventures? Because this is very key. One thing I've come to realize and to come to agree to is that as a founder, you must have good communication skills. Hate it or love it. So what is that way someone who is unable to communicate the idea can garner to be able to put it into practice so that moving forward they can be able to stand in front of a multitude of people and communicate what they are doing so that someone can pick interest in what they are doing and actually maybe forge a potential partnership in the future?
Okay, thank you so much. I'm going to talk a bit about that fear, the stage fright, then I can give a few tips.
Yes.
Because just like cooking, just like singing, just like driving, public speaking, you learn it by practicing.
Pola and pola.
The more times you get an opportunity to speak to any audience, you're putting something to your confidence bank. Just like you've heard so many times people telling us that one of the ways to be good at managing finances, you need to save money. So you might be saving 500 shillings per day. And when you tell it to somebody, they might say, 500 shillings? What does 500 shillings do? But do that over a period of 5 or 10 years. Consistently.
You're building a culture.
Every day.
A culture.
You have built a culture and you don't know when that money is going to bail you out. You get it? So because you have been doing it, it might look like it's little money, but at the end of the day, it's going to give you leverage. Even with public speaking, the more times you get to address people, whether you're telling them your name, whether you're introducing your business.
Does that mean I can even start with myself, the mirror aspect?
Yes, you can do that.
The few people, my colleagues?
Yes, you can do that because public speaking situations or spaces will vary. You'll go for a wedding meeting and then you have those self-introductions. And all that adds up to something. But one of the causes of that public speaking fear, it's not a sign of an abnormality. You're not abnormal.
Okay.
It is normal to have that fear. There is a biological perspective behind that.
Is it something you had before?
Yes. There are social factors behind that. There are environmental factors behind that.
Okay.
For some of us, based on yes. For some of us,
factors that I know of.
The environment where we are brought up in, the social environment or setting that we are in, it can do so much in terms of actually shaping your public speaking skills. Some of us have grown up in homes where it is maybe forbidden, for example, for maybe a woman to speak or even raise your point. So when men speak, we don't do what? You don't question. So we go by what they have said. So when that is done to somebody over time, it might make them think that maybe it is only men that should speak or who have the potential.
And with time, they lose the interest.
When they get into a space where everyone has to speak. Because I have grown up in a home setting where the speaking has been more of inclined towards the male gender. Us as girls, we are not given an opportunity. So it's more about the men. Those family meetings, those family engagements, if you're delegating any assignment, whether somebody is going to communicate something, it is the boys. You don't give the guys an opportunity. So psychologically, it may make somebody think so. The other thing is our education system. Our education system is more of give, and then for us, we are taking. So we don't get those opportunities where you can express yourself. You have those moments where a teacher would ask a question, and you try as much as possible not to look at him. Because you know the next person that he might select is you. Or even when people when they are looking out for different spots where to sit in class, you try as much as possible to sit at the back. Because you know, when I sit behind, they will not see me. So that in a way now gives me that opportunity, you know, saves you that burden of maybe speaking in a setting. But what I can say, all speakers, whether experienced or not, they all have some bit of anxiety when it comes to public speaking.
The stage fright.
Yes.
So it just varies.
The only difference with people who are experienced, who have done it over time, they are able to overcome that anxiety in a very short time. And you as the audience, you will not even notice it. Somebody is feeling it, but you cannot tell.
I think I used to have that.
Yes.
For the first minute on the stage. But by the time I get a microphone to start speaking, I become so comfortable and I don't want to leave the stage.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think I get what you're trying to communicate.
So the experienced speakers, they are able to manage that in a very short time. Whereas the amateur speakers or people who have not had so many opportunities, the more time you spend on stage, the more the anxiety actually builds. You get it? If it is the hand is shaking, they will now get to a point where they're now getting sweaty. The face is, the forehead is also sweaty. You get to a point where now you are in one position, you don't even want to move. Your legs are stiff. So the more time you spend there, the more now the anxiety takes toll on you.
When you talk about anxiety, it's very true. And if there's any person who thinks, that when you are speaking, the people who speak, the Les Browns, you know, Tony Robbins, when they are speaking, you feel like there is no issue. They tell you that it's until they have started speaking, but there is always that fear. And there is something I watched.
That's why they prepare adequately.
Yeah. And there are ways of managing anxiety, anxiety. So there is something I watched, I think it was a talk at either Stanford Business School or Harvard. You can check it on YouTube. It is think fast, talk fast, you know. It is a communication kind of webinar. How do you speak? Not only, because sometimes some of the issues people have is that when you talk about communication and the speaking and the talking, they think about me standing somewhere and I'm giving a talk to 10,000 people, 1,000 people. But do you know that there are some people who can't even start a conversation?
Yeah, sure. When it's just two people.
Yes, they don't have that ability of having small talk, which is very, very important in our day and life.
There is also in quotes introverts.
Yes, because now imagine yourself, and for me, this is my thinking. That probably is even the most important part of communication you want to learn. Probably you can tell us a thing or two. Because then how are you going to network? You have all these people around you, but you cannot say hi. You know? You have Bill Gates near you. Guy can give you money, but you don't have the first words to say. He's looking at you, you are looking at him, and it's even worse if both of you are introverts. So the guy is like this, you're also like this, you are in an elevator together. You don't know how to start the guy.
Or you can even greet you and you have nothing to say.
Exactly. So I think that's if you can give us, first of all, tips on how to manage anxiety, but then also secondly, how do we initiate conversation? Some people are single up to now, 10 years later. They can't start a conversation with ladies. And you may find that they may be better speaking at public events.
Again, one-on-one.
They are very shy and they can't speak.
Okay, thank you so much for that input. So for me, I'm going to give some tips of how you can actually, over time, improve your public speaking skills. Number one, the first tip is belief in self. The starting point is believing in yourself that you can actually do it. That's the starting point. Because the biggest part of conversations that we have on a daily basis, we have them with ourselves. When you wake up in the morning and you're in that house, you're not talking to anyone, but you're doing things. You wake up and you know the first thing you want to do, you want to shower or you want to iron your clothes. Then you shower, brush your teeth, come and maybe iron, then look out for maybe the shoes that you're going to put on, maybe prepare some tea. Like so many things are happening. You're having conversations with yourself when there is no physical person there that you're having a chat with. And in most cases, those conversations, they play out in so many ways when it comes to who we become. Our perceptions and belief about so many things in life. So the starting point is you need to tell yourself positive things. You need to have that positive self-talk that you can actually make it. You can do it.
Self-motivation.
Yes. Don't have this belief of, no, I don't think I'm good enough. I think public speaking is for this kind of people. I think me, I was not meant to be this. Me, in our family, we are not speakers. So you start telling yourself all that. The moment you feed that to your brain, it's going to reflect in the actions. So tell yourself that it is possible. Believe in yourself. That is the starting point. Because even if I took you through the best training ever in public speaking, even if we took you to the best facility, you have the best facilitators.
It starts with you.
The training is not an end in itself. It starts with you. So when you go in and you get these concepts, when you go back, in your quiet moments, what did you tell yourself? That's very important. Number 2 is preparation. Preparation. I'm going to give you an example. How many of you watch TED Talks?
By show of hands.
Or have heard of TED? Okay. TED Talks, the practice in TED Talks are a maximum of 18 minutes. And there is a reason why those talks are strictly for 18 minutes. Neuroscientists were able to do a research and they discovered that the maximum time that somebody can actually give their full attention to something without switching off, it's 18 minutes.
Just 18?
18 minutes. That's what informs the TED Talk.
Then why do you have lectures of 3 hours?
TED Talks are strictly 18 minutes. That's why when you talk about the lectures, the reason why at the end of the day they get to a point where they are boring is because they are very long. So you get to a point where the brain now shuts and it wants to engage into something else. That's why people pick their phones. They want to see what is happening on social media. But TED Talks are for 18 minutes. But here is the interesting bit. Every year, TED organizes a TED conference in Vancouver, in the US. But there are other entities around the world that are also organize TEDx events. They have been given rights to also organize them in UK. We have had something in Uganda. I think we had something in Entebbe towards the end of last year.
Yeah.
So people apply to give talks at these TED events. So there are thousands of people around the world. So they go through a selection. So you talk about the idea that you want to share and everything. They look out for certain things. You fill up a form, you submit it. When they select you that you're going to give a talk, these guys support you for a period of 4 months
To prepare.
support you for 4 months to give a talk of 18 minutes. So when you go through the process, you are assigned a mentor who is going to support you to work on your idea so that it becomes a TED appropriate talk. Because for you have so many ideas, your talk might be for even 40 minutes or even 1 hour. So these guys now work with you from the scripting, from the memorizing your speech, the visuals, everything, the stage presence. How are you going to stand on stage? How do you walk? If you're to hold the microphone, how do you hold the microphone? How do you connect with the people using eye contact? All those for a period of 4 months. For you to give a talk of 18 minutes. So if TED requires you to prepare for that period, to give a talk of 18 minutes, now ask yourself, for all those times you have had an opportunity to give a talk, how much time have you dedicated to preparation? Because one of the factors that actually breeds the anxiety is when you have not prepared enough.
Yeah, that is so true.
When you don't prepare enough, it can be one of the factors that is actually going to build this anxiety. You get on stage, 2-3 minutes, you run short of the content. Then there's a way how the brain works so fast. The brain is now starting to blame you. It is telling you, you know, there's something you wanted to read last night, but you did not actually read it or complete it. And then you start now telling yourself, probably this is why I'm forgetting things. So preparation is very key. Have clarity of what you want to talk about, do your research, and then you prepare enough. Preparation takes so many things. Preparation takes so many things. For example, if you invited me to give a talk, I need to know how much time do I have. Secondly, what kind of audience am I going to be speaking to? Thirdly, what mode of communication or delivery am I going to use? Am I going to use a projector? Am I going to use a flip chart? Is it this kind of setting where people are seated and you're going to sit and you engage them? So you plan. What is their age bracket? All those things. Because if we had an audience of people who are 50 years to 70 here as the attendees between 50 to 70 years, you would need a different strategy or approach to engage them or to give a talk.
Yeah, that is true.
If you went to a school where you now have those teenagers, you're going to look out for a style that is going to engage them. If you come in and you're too serious, they will show you that they are not serious. So you need to lower yourself and get to their level.
And then blend in.
You blend in. Because in public speaking, we say it is about them, not you. The interests of the audience come first before your interests. So when you're planning, you put their interests above your interests because they are the ones who are going to consume and benefit from your talk or your message. Okay. So that is very key. Okay.
Planning, preparation.
Yes.
You know, we used to have those, are they 5 P's? Prior preparation prevents poor performance.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Then lastly, before we open up to the audience, because I'm seeing a lot of interest in terms of questions. You talked about, in your introduction, you talked about, I think at Prowess, that you used to have a lot of adult subscribers. And people pay their money up front, but they don't show up. But personally, I would find that as an advantage. If you pay me the money, okay, as an entrepreneur, personally, I might find that as an advantage. You pay your money to come and learn public speaking, and then you don't show up. I mean, I have the money you've paid up front, so I don't mind. But that seemed that at Prowess, you're impact-oriented than money-oriented. And that informed your shift to the teenagers and infants. So what inspired that shift? Because I'm sure I have like-minded peers that are thinking alike as I am. That, I mean, if I have my business, for example, if I'm selling Hilk of DS and a certain pharmacy, P, orders 1,000 or 10,000 and they pay me the money and they don't turn up, I mean, I'll just sit back. I have my money and my product. I'll not look for them. So what informed that pivoting? Because you're already getting the money from the adults, but you feel like it is not yielding the impact you're looking forward to putting forward, to driving. And then that informed the shift to impacting the teenagers as well as the infants.
Thank you so much. Largely, the reason was simply because it was never going to be sustainable.
Sustainability.
Yeah, because you remember, or the whole idea about the program is that when you get these people and they come in, how you learn and acquire those public speaking skills and you become better, it is when you have that audience where you're actually presenting from, where you have an opportunity to speak.
Okay.
So if we have 30 people paying up and only 3 are showing up, this program over time is not going to yield. It is not going to make sense. Because in terms of impact, you as an entrepreneur, one of the things where you derive that joy and fulfillment is the impact that actually your product or service is having on people.
Okay, maybe I think because you're established Because what I've seen is that young entrepreneurs want quick money. Impact is never at the forefront of the innovations. They want money first. I'm in a nutshell and I want to break out. So I want to break even. So any money that I get, that is what brings me joy. So they are looking at the impact in maybe after 100 years or so. But I think maybe we need to change the mindset as well. Starting out, when we're setting out, we need to know that impact matters as much as the finances we want to bring into the business.
The money, that money can give you some short-term kind of excitement
or fulfillment.
And fulfillment. But you remember what is going to make you actually, what is going to make this business count or this brand is not the short-term wins or the joys or the happy moments in the short term. What is going to matter most is how far or how long you can actually keep on track while running this venture. Because if you're seen to be very successful in 1 year and you collapse and you're normal, and somebody starts and they are able to grow step by step and they are able now to use the learnings from these years that seem to be about struggle, this one is about impact, but now they get their business to 5, 10, 15 years. Who is going to be counted in 10 years or 15 years?
I think the latter.
We are going to count them because for you, you're no longer there. So you got those moments, it was about the money. So you forgot the whole idea of the long term. Because this money can come in, but what is going to matter most, what should bother you most as an entrepreneur every day is how best can you keep this idea running for the longer term.
Even without you in your absentia.
Yes, that's the most important thing. Because like the example that I gave you, if I have had people who give talks about financial literacy, for example, they will say that a person who earns 1 million and is unable to save, and one who earns 200,000 but saves 20,000 out of that, and does it over a period of 5 years
consistently,
who is better in the long run? Or if I earn my 1 million, I save 100 this month, 100,000, then 4 months without saving, I save in the 5th month, 50,000, then I go 4 months without saving anything. You who earns 200,000, you save your car 20 every month consistently over a period of 5 years. Who is going to have more leverage over the other?
I think the one of 20,000.
The one of 20,000. So many of us, we are always looking at that money that you want because we have so many challenges. So you're looking at how can I get money that can actually address the issues that I have or the challenges that I have. But at the end of the day, that money cannot solve all those problems. You must occupy yourself with constantly innovating around creating value.
Continuous improvement.
Yes. Doing things that no one else is doing.
Unique value proposition.
Yes. Because if I'm offering a product today and I'm pricing it at 5,000, you cannot say that you're going to price it at that amount 10 years from today. You can even get to a point where you're pricing it at 10,000. Have you seen those products that were previously maybe at 5,000 and they get to 6,000 or 7,000 but they never go back to the previous price?
Absolutely.
They actually keep on increasing the what?
Increasing and improving because of the market dynamics.
The dynamics. So you as an entrepreneur, ask yourself, how can I constantly innovate around creating better value? Now, the idea about the adult program, people were paying money but they were not coming. But this is a service where people are supposed to acquire skills through exposure to audiences. If you are the one and you are paid money and you come every evening and you only find 2 people, one person, you are the only one in that class, what perception or recommendations will you give about the program?
Not a positive one, definitely.
It will not be a positive one. So does that actually give me any chance for survival?
Not really.
Me as a business,
I think I get your point. Sustainability.
So the reason why I went for the children is because children are available.
And they are
They
receptive.
don't dictate their schedule.
Yes.
So parents are busy making their money. They can actually sacrifice and have this for their children. But for them, some of them might feel like, I'm already grown up. I already have other things that are occupying me, but I can sacrifice this for my child. So for me, that was a better niche to focus on.
I think I get that. From her gestures, it clearly shows that you must have done wonders to her child, yeah, in terms of improving the public speaking skills and everything. So colleagues, I would like to know, those of us who have questions, I can see many of you seem interested in having questions. Tailored questions to your ventures. Yes, one. Who else? Yes. Who else? I would like to know all of you so that we manage the time, because our time is already fast spent. Much as our facilitators promise to be here with us for as much as we can engage. So far I'm seeing 2 people. Anyone else would like to ask? Okay, so we shall start with you.
Standing. My question is more into reaching out to your other businesses. Like most of the times you find yourself, let me make it quite simple, like cold calling some, let's say you're trying to reach out to some business and you're trying to sell to them a service that you're doing. And most of them you find you're just taking away their time. What is the best way to catch them? Like, what's the best way to sound more valuable to them? Like, how is the best way to sound valuable to, like, your solution to sound more valuable to them than you wasting their time? I don't know if you have gotten my question, but yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Coach. But I have this question. You know, sometimes, as you have said, as the entrepreneurs, it is a must for us to identify a gap. But sometimes you identify a gap and you do not have, even the people like in the community where you have identified the gap, they are not even interested. And even if you try to walk around because you must have a team, as the topic says, that funders fund teams, not ideas. But sometimes you're even trying to walk around like you want to talk to some people about this idea, about this gap, and no one is interested, or they are actually pushing you down. Because I happened to be in a master's class where I had a topic, and everyone, inclusive of my supervisors, they were like, you can't, like, there is no way, you can't just start on this thing. It is there, but no other researchers have researched about this. As research says that you must do something that other people have already done. What? Sometimes you have a gap and there is no literature about it, like no one is there. And that is why I think most of us, or most of the people, die with their ideas. Because there is a saying that I don't know if it is a saying, but someone said the most people with big brains are down in the grave, because they died without using it. So so sometimes you identify a gap, but you can't be helped. I don't know what we can do about it.
Any more questions? Yes. OJ, he has a question.
Hello. Now, Mr. Rama, my question is on my part of business, interior designing. Mostly, you talked about cultural differences and upbringing differences. And I've really met a lot of problems, especially when I'm dealing with clients. I go to a site, I do a site visit, I present my mood boards, I present my ideas. But then again, on the most problem I meet is on upbringing differences. A client tells you, I grew up, I wasn't spoon-fed. I grew up doing things myself. So just going and sourcing furniture, maybe lighting, I can do it by myself. But at times, yes, you can do it, but it won't come out.
Yeah.
Especially when you're selecting different lights for different rooms or different furniture for different spaces. So mainly, my question comes on how can I like really entice them to trust me, maybe tag along and get a gig out of them without them going through that.
Okay. Let me first respond maybe to this, and I'll start with him. Thank you so much for the question. The response I'm going to give in that regard is that I'll give an example. I have done the public speaking program for children here in Ibarra for the last 7 years. But when I thought of scaling it to the Kampala market, I looked around for different schools. There are so many schools in Kampala. But I wanted a school that could give me leverage in terms of numbers, but also with parents who can afford to pay for the program. So that when you put out maybe an advert that there's a program here, they can easily buy in because of the reputation of the school and also the numbers, but also the parents being able to afford financially. So when I went to that school and I pitched, I went with a proposal. They read it. And the first question they asked me was, we see that you have been doing this for the last good years in Imbarara. So for us, we want to see, can we have a look at what you have done? Because the fact that it is an established school, they have concerns about their name and reputation. So they want to deal with somebody whom they are very confident has a track record of doing something that they are promising to do. Trust me, if I had got into that school and I have not done anything to do with that program, and it is my first school where I'm interesting them to get a buy-in, I highly doubt whether those guys were actually going to actually take up the idea. Because they would have so many questions about, you have written very good English, but now can we look at something to do with actually how it runs and what it is? So I had about 3 videos that they were able to watch. And when they watched those videos, they saved me a lot of explanations and the talking. The videos did the talking. Because they watched one of the videos, they saw the children speaking. Towards the end, they saw parents giving feedback. Because on the final day of the program, we invite the children with their parents. And they were like, oh, this. So now they started looking at it in the context of their school. And they were like, oh, I think we can work together. They started looking at now, how can they also benefit from me while I'm also benefiting from the school. So the work that you're involved in is one of the things that can actually make it easier for you to pitch is that for every client assignment that you get, any deal that you get, do your best to document and have record of the work that you have done. Because you see, with your work, it is very visual and easy for somebody to see that I walked into a site and this is how it was on day 1, day 2, day 3, up to day 10. And somebody sees that transformation. I don't know whether you have seen videos on TikTok where people, maybe they are into real estate, where maybe somebody got into maybe an Airbnb, he has paid for an apartment and is now starting to furnish it from scratch. They show you this is how day 1 the place was, no curtains, no anything. So they start furnishing curtains, this. Then they get to the final product. You look at the video and you're like, somebody is indirectly actually selling to you. They are pitching without actually telling you that come to my Airbnb. So they show you how the place was and how they have transformed it, and you're like, oh my God, this is a place worthy doing. Now, the challenge most of us have is that we are doing great things out there, but we don't keep track. We don't have record of what we have done. So 10 years from today, find you have done your things for the last 5 years, but you go somewhere and you don't have any record. of the work that you have done. So when you keep track of what you're doing, even if it is that one client, when you show them that, please, this is one of our projects that we recently handled in Entebbe. This is one of our projects that we recently handled in Kisoro. This is one of our projects that we recently handled in Nairobi. It will now create trust and take away all those doubts. Because most of us, we tend to be locked. Our minds are locked to certain things. So that shift to open up to new ways of doing things becomes very hard. But I can tell you that where we are heading, the opportunities in your field, they are immense. Because when you look at where we are heading in terms of our town, the real estate developments, and the impact of technology, because now what technology is doing, it's creating a platform that is giving people exposure about things that they never imagined. People are coming to architects with maybe ideas of the plan that I actually want. You have gone to places and you've seen people building houses that you maybe saw in parts of Entebbe, but people are building them in some of our rural communities. Meaning, technology has created that opportunity for them to get that exposure and compare and see, yeah, this is also possible. This can also be done. And then people get in and they do it. So for me, that's what I think, that for many people, you need to have that record. The other thing is you sell the benefit. Show the client that actually this provides ABC in terms of benefits. You see, you can do it yourself, but in the long run, it's going to actually bring in some costs that you could have avoided when you do things professionally. So somebody looks at it from that perspective. And one of the things that you show them the risk that is actually going to arise from them deciding to do things on their own way. So they are like, now if I don't hire a professional person to do this kind of thing and I do it myself, if it rains and over time we have water pouring from this point, it can have an impact on maybe the ceiling or anything. So somebody notices that 3-5 years down the road, you might be forced to actually put down this whole structure and you build again because you wanted to take the cheaper path. But cheap doesn't always come out cheap.
I need cheaper
in
guy.
the long run. You know a cheaper guy. But in the long run, it costs you more than what you were actually avoiding. Thirdly, stick to your offer and believe in it.
Stick to
There
your
are
offer.
people who will come.
I think you need to say that again because it is really a source someone should be served.
Because clients, let me tell you, clients are very, very smart. They will come to you, you make for them a quotation, you explain everything that is entailed in what you're going to do, and then somebody's like, Banangenga, this is a lot of money. Somebody told me that this can actually cost me this much. So they are trying to weigh you. Are you desperate for money? Yes.
Or you want to give quality.
Quality. Sometimes people will move around looking for cheaper options. Finally, they come back. They say, you know what? Now, I want us to do business. They have gone around and assessed the risk compared to so many things, and they are not convinced. Maybe how you even worked on that proposal that you shared with the person. Somebody reads the English, they look at the photos, you give them a visual idea of how the thing is going to be at the end of the project. So they move around. They go and see somebody else. This one has a diary with a pen. And he's just drawing things. And he's saying, you see, from this point here where your neighbor, where he has constructed the perimeter wall, this is where we are going to start the construction of this ABC. Then they draw so many things, sketches. So he comes here, meets this one, sees him. Goes to another one, this one gets papers from a bag, gets a pen, tries to also do
analog.
This one has done his presentation, has sent it on email, on WhatsApp, it is in PDF. So when the client gets back home, he reflects, says, but these guys look to be cheaper, but this thing,
They are quacks.
things might go against me.
Yeah.
So they come back and now they make a decision and say, they engage you and now they are like, you know what? I want us to work, but now, can't you go low on that money?
This is my budget. Can't you accommodate it? Okay.
Then you show them this coat was meant for this. But if your budget is this is what we can offer. They get to know. But don't quickly discount. Don't quickly discount.
Don't
or even
quickly
don't.
discount.
Me, I have had companies that have contacted me for those team building gigs. Somebody contacts me and says, you know what? And now for you, that's a lot of money. For us, we need you for only 4 hours. They tell you 4 hours because they want to escape from the fact that you're going to charge them a lot. So I tell them, even with the 4 hours, my charge is 4 million. And the person is like, because I tell them what you're calling 4 hours, actually, in reality, it never becomes 4 hours.
It's a whole day.
It is actually more. Because you tell me we are starting at 8, I'm at the venue by 8, and we end up starting at 10. That's already 2 hours from what you were telling me. So when you look at the 4 that I'm going to spend, in reality, it's not 4 hours. So I look at so many factors, then then the person goes around, what I said, our budget was 1.5, and I'm like, you can look around for maybe other options that fit in your budget. So they go around, look for cheaper options. 2 days down the road, the person comes back. They tell you, you know what? I have tried, but I don't want to be disappointed.
Because
that's what they tell you.
I think quality now is at the overflow.
Yes. So they end up paying you that money.
Okay.
Now, the last thing I want to say about this is that you can do work and you look to be too busy. For example, I might be an events MC. And I'm busy every weekend, I have gigs. But those gigs are paying me 400,000. I have done 40 gigs in a year. They are paying me 400,000. That is 16 what? 16 million. Somebody else will do only 15 gigs. 15. Where he is charging 3 million per gig to MC. He has invested in himself. He has worked on himself. Only 15 gigs at 3. How much money is that? 45 million.
45 M, yeah.
You have overworked yourself. You're earning only 16 million. But this person, few gigs, good money, you're there. So it's not about you being too busy out there. At the end of the day, what is the return arising from that time that you're putting in? Because me, I know, with your interior design work, the moment you do it and people know that this is excellent work, you will get that client. That client might not even actually come from Uganda. You get that one client in Rwanda or wherever. You go in, the client pays you money that is in an equivalent of 20 gigs in Uganda. You earn it from one client.
I was about to say that you're speaking like a prophet, and I remembered you're Muslim. Because it's like you're proclaiming what is happening. And the man is like, yeah. Okay, so thank you very much, Benarama.
You know, the reason why I'm saying that is that we need to stop thinking small. The moment you think small, you end up being small. Even your idea can never grow. Believe in yourself, think big.
Have a dream that scares you.
Yes, that scares you, that makes you overwork. Now, like the other weekend I was in Kalangal, I got a gig for Coca-Cola. Their Southern Territory sales team, about 60 people. The gentleman contacted me on a Wednesday. The assignment was for Saturday, that same week. And he told me what they needed, and he asked me one thing. We discussed the money and everything. The question was, Ramadan, are you going to deliver?
That was his worry.
He asked me that. And I asked him one thing. I told him, when you started off this call, you told me that somebody recommended me. And he was like, yes, a friend of mine recommended you from this organization. And I said, if you have any doubts that I'm going to deliver, please engage them again. Engage them again and ask them that, do you think this person will deliver? Because I don't think he could have recommended me for such an assignment if they are sure I cannot do what?
Deliver.
Just give me the chance.
Okay.
I went in and I delivered. So you need to think big. The more you think small, your mind gets, you don't see, you end up settling for less, and you just keep there. She talked about addressing
The gap.
the gap.
Finding the gap, but people, the actors that you're trying to solve the issue for or the challenge don't seem interested. Or it's hard to connect the challenge to the people.
A gap in terms of maybe this gap, you're looking at it as something that is going to be a business opportunity that you can actually start up. Because for me, one of the things that I look at in business is if you're looking at an idea that you're going to start up, it should be something that you can be able to now sell to a good number of people to bring you a return on investment. Something that you can be able to scale at the end of the day. It could be within our town here. It could be an opportunity that can actually make you even move and have branches. Now, that gap that you're talking about, you need to be very sure that actually that gap exists and it is across a broad number of people. Because once you come in and you address the issue and you're communicating the solution well to the potential market, those are the potential buyers. But you don't want to open shop and then you have buyers who are going to come in 1 week and the market is is closed. You don't have people who can be able to now take up this service. For example, what business do you do? You run a what? You run a salon.
A unisex salon? For ladies.
It's for only ladies. I know that is one of the businesses that is very dynamic. It requires you to be very creative. There are very many things. These ladies will be on TikTok and somebody will see a hairstyle. They look at it and they come to you and they say, you know what? For me, I want to be the first person to have this in Imbarara. Because I've been doing this and looks like now everyone is, I want to have something new. So even you as a person, you have to be ahead of the game. That means you have to constantly work on yourself and show people that, by the way, you have been trying this for the last 1 year. Can we do this? What do you think about this? Oh, what does it take? You even show somebody that you have actually done it. And they're like, oh, let's try it out. You do it, and at the end of the day, they feel like, because for you ladies, one of the things you need to appreciate is that you want that, somebody wants to have that uniqueness about themselves, to feel this is me, I'm
especially
different.
amongst themselves.
Yes, I'm different.
They're always at competition.
Yes.
Okay, let's not go there, but they want something unique. Okay.
So sometimes the idea, I might be talking to you as a friend and we discuss something and we feel it's an opportunity, but we need to go out there and be very sure that it is actually a gap in the market that we are coming in to address. Some of the opportunities start off in a way that at the moment they might not present great potential, but there is an opportunity for the future. When I was starting the public speaking program, I remember there are some friends of mine who told me, this thing is for cool kids in Kampala. Why are you doing this in Imbarara? They were telling me that this is not for kids where even parents will not understand it. So if you want to make money, go where?
Kampala.
Parents in Kampala, they are the ones who understand the things, what. Then I told him, for me, I feel the opportunity is there. My work is to give them reason to take up this program. And because there are holidays where I would even get few sign-ups, and I feel like, should I go on with the program? But you sit back and ask yourself, why did you start in the first place? Tomorrow, how are you going to be counted? You go in and you have that program. Because that consistency is what actually also builds the trust. For people to have confidence. There are people who will be watching on the sidelines and they are like, let us see how she's going to pull it off. She told us that she does decoration. I was in this meeting, they told me that she's the one going to do deco. Let us wait and see. They are your friends, there's an opportunity, they want to support you, but they have that doubt. You go in and you challenge them.
Need to start this business,
But for it to start, you require funding, and very big funding that you don't have, and you don't have, say, any personal reference to say this is what I've done. Yeah, but you have this big idea, and it is a very good idea, but it is, say, ahead of its time. Yeah. So how do we go about that?
Okay, thank you so much with that. Now, one thing is that we are very unfortunate that we are in an economy where we don't have that ecosystem of venture capitalists, people that actually fund ideas, business ideas. When you go to countries like the US, the people in there, people will tell you that when you get to America, even the people who have gone there, whether they are Ugandans, they will tell you that the moment you get in there and you have that resolve to work, you actually make things happen. It's partly because of the environment that they have created. There is a way how the environment has created some leveled ground that even when you have an idea and you don't have the money, or you're not from a privileged family,
You can make it out.
there are a number of opportunities that give you chance to actually get money and invest in your idea, which we don't have here in Uganda. One of the countries that is actually getting some bit of opportunity in that space, I think it is Nigeria. I think it is countries like South Africa. I've also seen some bit of venture capitalists in getting into Kenya, and they are so much into the tech space. That's where most of them are actually investing money. I think we have also had it in Uganda here with, was it with Safe Border?
Yeah,
I
safe
think,
border, yes.
yes, I think with Safe Border. But in Uganda here, very many of us, we are unfortunate in that many people will have those good ideas, but for you to fund those ideas, the money that you need can be maybe offered by a bank, but you don't have what it takes to actually even get a loan. Because even the bank, before it gives you money, they want to see that you have a record of something that you're already doing. 50,000 profit, and you have a very big, nice proposal, and you have never done business. There's a likelihood that me, I can walk into the bank and I have high chances of getting some money to invest in my business compared to you. Because for me, I already have a record of a business I'm running. It is earning something. Because when they are giving money, banks will do risk assessment. They attach risk. So when you are not doing any business at the moment, there is a very high likelihood that this money that we are going to give you
Will be pivoted into something else.
we are going to lose the money.
Okay.
So they will give you that money. By the time you know it, it is because you have not built the discipline to manage it. You are now thinking of, you know what? I've always wanted to buy this suit. I think, after all, I don't need so much money. They have given me 10 million. I think I can start with 4 or 5. Then now you get that money. The rest you put it on personal what? Personal. But somebody who has run a business, they know the pain and the struggles of that client coming in, and they pay their money. They have utilities. So every penny that comes in before you spend it, there are many things you have to take into account before you spend that money.
That is so true.
So that's one of the challenges. For me, what I think would be the solution, one, if you're lucky, is where you have people and you're lucky you get to land on somebody who has the money and can believe in your idea, and they come in as maybe a co-founder. And maybe for them, they are doing, their contribution is more to do with the money bit, and for you, the contribution you're making to the business, which would be an equivalent of maybe your investment in the business, is the expertise that you're bringing in to run it. Because for you are the one who is fully involved, hiring, everything, planning, marketing strategy, so that this money can actually bring a return on investment.
Okay.
Without that, the solution, in my own perspective, look around for those ideas that can allow you to start small.
Start small.
Because when you start small, you build the resilience, the culture, and the knowledge,
and even the trust,
and also the network that can get you to a connection in future you never know, that will make her trust that she can actually even put money in the bigger idea. You get it? because you have a track record of something that you're already running, which is successful. So me who has the money and you have the proposal, I find it easier. It is convincing of me to put in the money because I found you are already into some venture, much as it's not a big venture. But there is record that you're already doing something which is actually successful. So if I'm betting on you, I am also looking at risk. The risk that I attach to you.
You're making a calculated risk.
Yes. So the risk that I attach to you is already doing something that you started small, which is actually working out, is different from the risk I'm going to attach to you when you are not doing anything and you just want the money to start from scratch.
Risk management.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. So who are some of your clients that you're targeting? Okay. Now, for me, what I think, one of the things that can actually work is as you think around getting to these businesses, you need to take time and get to know these businesses. What is it that they are involved in, and how can you come in to provide a solution to some of the challenges that they are having. You need to come in as somebody who is not looking at getting business from them, but you're coming in from an angle of making recommendations or even solutions. So some people, some discussions or conversations might not actually sound relevant to them at that point. But the intensity of the effort that you make to engage them, and you keep record of these people, at the end of the day might be the reason why something happens tomorrow and the first person they are thinking of to actually address the solution that they have in their business, it's you as a person. So you need to first see these businesses and whatever solution I'm also bringing in, is it something that is very urgent, that is actually very necessary for them at this point? Oh, because for me I might have a very good idea, but based on him and the business he's running, whether he's a landlord or a construction company, his issues on a daily basis, what gives him headache, is actually something different. But my idea is a very good idea when you look at it from the context of what it wants to address in the market and future prospects. But for him, every day his concern, as somebody who runs a construction company, his concern is about these guys who are stealing materials. That's what burdens him every day. We bring in things, but the next morning, 15, 20 bags of cement are what? They are normal. So for him, what worries him is, how do I get a solution around these things that give me headache on a daily basis? How do I get a solution around somebody who can actually supervise when I'm not on a site? Because I have so many sites that I'm handling and I cannot be everywhere. So how do I have somebody who is going to take charge and own these sites so that even when I'm not there, they understand the aspirations of what we want to achieve with this project and they are able to provide that support and they do it. Because sometimes you will have this good idea, but you might find this good idea is actually too early for the times. You get it?
I get it.
I might have this very good idea. When you're sharing it with colleagues, you look at it, it's a good idea. But it's too early for the times. Maybe this idea is likely going to actually be relevant the next 5 years.
Or even 10.
Or 10, based on the environment and different factors.
And the dynamics.
So that might make it very hard for you to persuade me to take it up. Because the needs that it's going to address, they might be there, but they are not so urgent that me, I find reason to take up his software. You get it?
Urgent
Back in the day,
important.
yes, back in the day, like now people who are running businesses, you will find they have now those systems where they keep track of the stock and everything and the sales. But back in the day, people were doing things manually, and there are people who came up with those ideas, and they went to businesses and people were not understanding. People were not
It
like,
was alien to them.
there's a time when those security cameras were not a big deal. Because some people felt like, it's too early for the time. It's not a big deal
and yet
today.
there was theft.
Yes, there was theft. But today, every day you're on social media, you see a video on TikTok, banango omuntu ono yabye kino. Mutuyambe okuma identifying. So and so. So when people see that, they get to a point where they feel like, by the way, at my work premises, I don't have this. And I live there, people every day, and they are working. How sure are you that some people are not walking away with what? With your things. So that's what I'm also looking at. I may need to sit with you, and I get to understand like the software and what is it.
So that you
and we
offer
see
him
those missing links. Yes.
Okay.
The idea could also be good, but how you present it to me may not come out in a way that sticks or speaks to the needs that I have as a business person in terms of the solution. The other thing he talked about where you start as a team and along the way you lose the morale and the like. One of the things that is going to kill the morale, whether you like it or not, is if your biggest driver or motivation is money. If your biggest motivation is money, trust me, you're not going to run a long race. But if your passion is providing a solution and money comes as a reward for that, then you're going to keep running for long. Secondly, it is the passion.
I think that's my key take home.
Yes.
I'll kind of say it again.
If your biggest driver is money, the reason why you're starting this idea for you, every day you're looking at money all the time, you're not going to run a long race in that business. It's just going to be a matter of time, and you'll be talked about as somebody who tried out something, but things did not do what? Did not work out. If you look at the most successful businesses out there, money was never the lead motivation. At the end of the day, why they thought of doing that. I will keep referring and taking you back to the work that I do, the public speaking program. Now, some of my friends ask me one thing, that how do you manage to deal with children? Because for them they say children are headache. Like they bother you, they are asking this and this, and some of them are like, me, I don't think I'm patient with what? With the children. So that in itself tells you that that person, they feel that's not an area where they can actually thrive. But for me, the joy I get it from children being comfortable, being able to transform, and they move from one step to another every day. Because the feedback that parents give is that when it is the usual school time, they struggle with waking up children to go to school. But when they are attending the public speaking program, kids wake up and they tell their parents, Teacher Rama told us that public speakers are good time managers. So I'm late. I need to be at school by 9 or 8:30. How you treat them and how you approach or how you conduct it is at the end of the day going to create their interest. If you're very tough, you're very rough, they may not have a good perception. They'll go back and say, but this man is very tough. You make a mistake and he slaps you. He's abusive. So the parents will be like, I don't think that's a good environment for my child. Because children are very observant. They see every detail and they give that kind of feedback.
And they give a report.
So have something that you are going to address. The money comes as a reward for the solution that you're addressing or providing to the market.
So thank you very much, Bwana Ramadhan Kimbugwe, for such an insightful session. And I'm going to request you, in the interest of time, to give your closing remarks about you have seen us. This is part of us, not the entirety of us. Some of our colleagues didn't make it today because of unavoidable circumstances, but we are such a big enterprise or congregation, and we're looking forward to growing even bigger so that we can make a bigger entity and thrive. So I will give you some time to make your closing remarks and some recommendations, but I would kindly ask you to recommend someone who would like to sit in your chair next Friday. You could give two names, anyone that you think is best suited for us next Friday, as you make your conclusion, and then we shall go into our final kind of session as we close.
I can recommend later. And
Yeah, you
give
can
the
comment right
recommendation.
now. You can.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I can be thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity. I think the first time I got to know this, I think I saw it on your status.
Yeah.
Then I think after 2 days I saw something on TikTok
Okay.
about the same.
Okay.
I liked it because I feel this is one of the things that we've been lacking in this town. An opportunity or a platform where people can come and share ideas from their own way of how they view the world and their experiences. I will tell you that one of the things that I've always wanted is to organize events that bring different people from different areas of expertise.
Different disciplines.
Maybe you organize an event quarterly, you bring maybe a speaker who is going to talk about maybe personal branding and maybe some other topic, and you have people paying a fee and they come in and they get that knowledge. Because trust me, we go through school, but you realize at the end of the day what makes you actually grounded are these experiences that you get outside the classroom. They are actually what turns out to be more impactful and essential. They tend to be more real life, practical experiences that can actually make an impact in somebody's life. So this is a very good platform, and you guys, I have ideas on how we can partner.
Okay, guys, a round of
And
applause.
beyond this, where we come every Friday, we have a climax, which is like a bigger event.
Okay.
Maybe every 4 months.
Okay.
You have something running for maybe 3 or 4 hours at a given venue.
Having
We
a
interest
larger
in
audience.
sponsors. They come in and they gain visibility from that. Because as you now do all this and you gain that visibility on the different platforms, now it makes your brand very powerful. So now we look at other aspects, because I can assure you, beyond this, you must look at the element of monetizing this kind of platform or venture. Because trust me, the time you put in and all other things, at some point there are things that require money. You're putting in money. So how do you move from a point where we can now monetize this? Our Fridays can keep running, but you have that event where you know it's one single big event. You have your 2 speakers, they are coming from Kampala. Some hotels have come on board as sponsors, they are providing them accommodation. You have a company that has come on board to provide this, and people are paying this fee to attend and get premium content. Then you use that to push the brand and you give it more mileage. So every time you put out a post and you say, this is our second edition of this, you tell them we have only 50 or 100 tickets. People are running. Because you have already built a track record around what happens every Friday. So they find reason to now be part of the other event, because now it's now a more elevated platform where people can now tap into diverse opportunities for networking, for knowledge sharing, and many other things. So for me, it's a pleasure, and I will now look forward to now coming and I attend also, not being around for some time.
Okay.
Next Friday, I look forward to now coming and I also sit here and I listen in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Bwana Rama. A round of applause for him. He has been really eloquent and is experienced in his area.
Good evening, entrepreneurs. Thank you so much, our guest speaker. You're most welcome on every Fridays. We are always here. So I would like to see new members. I see some new faces around. Yes, so you're most welcome. Some of you didn't introduce yourselves. I wanted to give you 30 seconds especially the new members, so that we get to know what you do and all, your name and what you do. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Belinda Asha. I have two companies. One is Bellish. I make lip gloss. I do personalized puzzles. I sell kids' shoes. That's it for now. Then another one is the Fruity Treats. I do cakes. Every kind of cake you want. I'm around Mbara, but I work from home. I'm a home baker and I do all my work online. So the best you can do is just get my number and send me that message and make that booking. Thank you.
So colleagues, we are gearing up to the final part of today's session, and this is just a fun session. However, our speaker has not told us who you recommend to be here with us next Friday, seated in your chair. But maybe we'll do that as we... So my colleague and I will be able to just... Don't feel nervous. Of course, I know you don't have stage fright, but this is not an interview. Anything you say is right. It's just a fun session as we close. So I'll be able to ask you a few questions, and she will also ask. Yeah, so first, if our team was a startup, would we be broke or billionaires already? Just make it short. What you think? Anything is right. It's just your opinion.
Billionaires already.
Okay, guys, clap for that. Okay. After today, are we a small idea or a big movement?
Very big movement.
Okay. Arsenal or Manchester United?
Manchester United.
Okay. If investors watched us today, would they clap or run away?
They would clap.
Guys, clap for that. Much as you're not investors. So, what's our team's secret sauce now? What is that uniqueness we have as the Entrepreneurs Lounge?
I think the uniqueness that you have is around being able to think out and offer something that is relevant,
okay,
to the market or the audience that you are actually focusing on.
Okay.
Yeah, so I feel that is that's a very good thing that no one else is doing actually around this town.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are we thinking small, medium, or world domination?
I think from what I have seen, the people you have even hosted on the platform on this, I've seen some of the videos on TikTok.
Oh.
Yeah, I've seen the videos. So I think the idea is even the people who are running this, you're actually thinking so big.
Okay.
Yeah.
If our communication was money, are we rich or still looking for funding? You being a communication coach, if our communication was money, are we rich or still looking for funding? You can just be honest.
You're looking for funding.
Okay. What should be our team slogan after this session?
Slogan. The slogan that I would give to this team is keeping relevant for the times.
Keeping relevant for the times.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, clap for that slogan. We shall adopt it. Are we building drama or building empires?
Empires.
Okay. What bad team habit should we fire immediately from what you have seen here? What should we fire as we walk out?
I've not seen anything bad really, because I've been in engagements where you get in and session is running and everyone is maybe on their phone. That could be maybe partly on a reason. The reason could be maybe how the session is running. But here I think you have tried to foster a strong culture. Even the people who come in for the first time, there is a way how they are able to read and see how you do things and approach them, which is a very good thing. So I've seen there is people have interest, they are very keen, there is attention, which is a very good thing, because for me I wouldn't want this to be too serious.
Okay.
Yeah, where you want to be too strict and enforce rules. No, this
You want it
freestyle.
informal, yeah, okay.
This,
And then finally,
given even the setting,
finally,
the where we are.
Ray G or Alien Skin?
Ray G.
So I'll hand over to her to conclude the session.
Yeah, thank you so much. I have 6 questions. So the very first one, what's one business mistake are you now grateful for?
One business mistake
That you're now grateful for.
mistake that I made that I'm grateful for.
You don't make mistakes.
No, I do. I think one of the mistakes that I'm grateful for is when I was running Prowess Communications in its early, I think around 2019. That was, I think, before COVID. There is, you know, when you're starting the business and you get to a point where you feel like there are things that really need the money, but the money is not coming in.
Yeah.
And you're tempted to go against the standard or even the values that you have set in terms of even pricing of the offers that you give. At some point I got tempted to even go low on some of those offers because you want the money to come in. But along the way I realized that it is not something that makes your brand sustainable in the long run. So it was a mistake, but along the way it helped me realize that I need to make changes and I stand on my ground when it comes to the offers, the pricing. The clients might not be coming in immediately, but when you're looking at building something for the long term, along the way, the clients will come in and the people who actually appreciate what you do will be able to pay what you actually require of them.
Oh, yeah. Keeping your standards.
Yeah.
So question number 2, if you had 1 million Ugandan shillings and had to start over today, what would you do first?
If I had 1 million Uganda shillings, in terms of a business idea that I would run,
Yeah, and you had to start over today.
I think if I had 1 million Uganda shillings, the business that I would start now, even tomorrow, and I start making money, I would start a cleaning company business.
Oh, Swift Clean. Okay.
Yes, it's because it's one of the areas where I have seen a gap and an opportunity here in Imbarara. I would get in, even if I don't have the equipment, I know people that I would go to and I hire. And the next day, I have money. I've paid for the equipment, but I also have money that I've kept.
Oh, okay. Question number 3, what belief about business did you have before that turned out to be completely wrong?
One belief that I had, I think one of the beliefs that I had was that you need to be maybe a certain age to actually build, because most of the people that we see running businesses, or even we grew up seeing, are people who are older. It's this generation where we are seeing younger people venturing into business. So for me, I used to think that maybe when you're still young, 25, 27, 28, running a business may not be possible, and you run something and it turns out to be successful. But I have over time, appreciated the fact that it is beyond that. Age is not the biggest factor. There are other attributes that you need, because I've seen older people who look to be experienced, but they lack the basics of how to run the business. They get in and all the money is, they lose the money in 4 months or even 2 months. But I think there is that extra skill set that you need, the grit, the passion that keeps you moving every day.
Yeah.
So
Age is
those are
just
some
a
of the
number.
beliefs that I had because
Yeah.
of the environment that I was brought up in. But along the way, I noticed that it's not even so much of a big deal today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Age is just a number. The other question is, what's that one habit that has contributed most to your success?
I think one of the habits is that I'm constantly hungry for new ways of doing things. And one of the things that I do is I read a lot. I have platforms of people that I feel are way better than me. The way how they do their things, they have businesses that are well established. So I always look out for new ideas from them on how I can do things. So I think that's one of the things that has been very, very significant.
Okay.
Yeah.
If entrepreneurship had a warning label, what would you say? If entrepreneurship had a warning label, what would you say?
If it had a warning label,
Yeah.
if entrepreneurship had a warning label, what would I say?
Yeah.
I think for me, the warning label. The warning label is the warning label for me would be don't get excited too early.
Yeah. Emma said Toyakanyo.
So I think for
Yeah,
me
that's
that
true.
would be because there's a way how things look to be rosy on the outside, but the moment you walk in, that's when reality sets in.
That's true.
Yeah, people will sit with you and they tell you how this is a very good idea. And you feel like when you start the next, you feel like you should have started like 10 years ago. But my friend, you walk in 1, 2 weeks, 1 month, and you're like, you start cursing.
Yeah.
So I think it's good not to be too excited so fast. Reserve the excitement for
later.
Yeah.
So my very last question is, if your journey was a movie, what title would it be?
If my journey was a movie. How many of you watched? I don't know if there are people here who have watched that movie before. There is a movie, I think we watched it in the early 2000s. It was called, title was Phantom Soldiers. How many of you watched Phantom Soldiers? Phantom Soldiers, you look for it because one of the things that I vividly remember from that movie was still young, but there was this one guy that was commanding his troops on the battlefield. They were facing an enemy. Most of the soldiers died. And he got to a point where one of the colleagues told him that, you know what, we need to retreat. The majority have died. At least some of us should be able to save our lives and go back and see our families.
Yeah.
But this guy told him that You remember when we were setting off to come for this, we said no turning back until we make it. So these guys, when the colleague told him that, it changed his entire perception, because for him psychologically, he had given up. He felt like we cannot go on with this and we cannot win. So because of that, he got motivated and he started thinking out now new ways of weakening the enemy who was advancing and looking stronger. He has killed most of your guys. So because of that, these guys were now able to think of a turnaround, a way to actually approach the enemy, and in the end they emerged victors. The reason why I'm using that is because we have all, if you're in business, we've all had those moments where you're alone and you felt like you want to give up, things are not going your way, and you're like, oh, I made a mistake, or I'm in a wrong field.
Yeah.
You start now asking those questions to yourself, and sometimes the mind will tend to give you solutions about this, the easier path. It will tend to tell you that you need to give up, and maybe now you start something new. You get it? Because even when you share with your friends, they have told you that, you know what, man, I think this thing is not going to work. All these years that you have tried, really. So when you now put in all that, you might end up giving up. But the fact that they were able, I've also had those moments where you get in, you pitch something, and somebody declines. You get those moments where you feel the client reaches out, you do everything, they don't take up your offer. But when you go back and ask yourself why you started, and the bigger dream that you have, or vision or aspiration, it now propels you to think around innovative ways of now overcoming the challenges. And by the time you know it, you are able to keep moving, yes, to maneuver. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. We have come at the end of the session. Kindly, I request we give a round of applause to our guest speaker. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. We are grateful. You've been very resourceful. You've given us real-time knowledge. And in case you've not picked up so well, you can follow our socials, our YouTube channel, The Entrepreneurs Launch, all the other socials, TikTok, and the others. There is always this content given to us so that we can revisit. Personally, I've been up and down. I will have to go back and sit down and internalize what he was saying, because it has been really resourceful. I think that's it. The very last thing we do is a picture outside there, and then we can leave at free will. Thank you.